and welcome to Tea Life with Tiffany. I am your host, Tiffany Denise. Thank you for joining me and my cadre of amazing friends as we sit and sip tea and talk everything from pop culture to tea culture. Tea life is what your life should be. Calm, cool, and collected, just like a cup of tea.
Hi, I'm here with Carol Ward, Executive Director of Moorish Jamel Mansion. Hi, Carol.
Hi, Tiffany. Thank you so much for coming.
Things that you see for the future.
You know, I just hope for bigger and better things for the mansion. I think we're poised to have a really great year this upcoming year. We have great events, great programs, and I have a really great team. And I think that's where you start, is the staff is enthusiastic and then just feeds that to the visitors that come in.
Absolutely. And some of the things that are coming up in the fall.
Yeah, the one thing that we're really excited about, other than your tea tasting series, of course, is our Culture and Arts Festival.
Yes.
It's our biggest day in the year. It's October 12th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. this year. Last year we had over 700 people over the course of the day.
Awesome.
And that's really a community event. We invite artists, restaurants, and performers from Washington Heights, Harlem, and Inwood to come and just have a day of it. And the community is invited, it's completely free, and just to bring as many people to the grounds as possible.
And so if someone was interested in being a part of it as a vendor, I suppose?
Yeah, they can just call me. All the information is up on the website, which is just morrisjamel.org. They can find my name all over the website and contact me. We have your tea tasting series.
Yes, it's going to be in October, November, and December.
Exactly.
So we're going to be doing some really exciting. I'm excited about that.
I am very excited too. I mean, the history of tea is so tied to the history of the house through the Revolutionary War in the 19th century that it just makes perfect sense to have that as an event.
That's one of the things that has drawn me into tea culture is the fact that I can literally kind of juxtapose historical events, and tea is right there. Right next to it, all the way through. Absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, and the fun thing about doing it here is it's going to be in the room where we're sitting, the octagon drawing room where they'd have tea.
Exactly.
So, and that's a big selling point for people to come to these events is that you're going to actually have tea in the same room that George Washington had tea.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you beat that?
You put it like that.
Yeah.
I'm here with my friend Mario Nicholas with Mario's Travels. Hi, Mario.
Hey, Tiffany.
How are you?
Great. How are you?
Good. So I want to talk to you about your tea travels. I'm calling them tea travels. They're Mario Travels, but you're fueled with tea. Can you tell me your slogan?
Absolutely. Fueled with tea and driven by culture.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. It's a little cheesy when I first came up with it, but after that, just people started taking to it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you get into being a tea enthusiast?
You know what? Just growing up in the Caribbean, in Antigua, tea is a huge part of your lifestyle.
Yes.
You know, it's after church on Sunday, you know, going out into the garden and getting the lemongrass or the fever grass, as we call it, and, you know, you're boiling it, you're steeping it, and you're having it. And there's a big misconception that, of course, if your tea is not the leaves and bud from the Camellia sinensis, then it's not technically tea. But you can't tell that to Caribbean people who go out and get the soursop leaf the bush tea. Exactly. You know, you steep your leaves for your bush tea, and you add your sugar to it, and you drink it until you have your tea. And we call a lot of things tea.
Yes.
Ovaltine, you know, your Ovaltine tea. You know, your lime leaf tea. Fish
No.
tea's a soup more so.
I know.
But we have it in the Caribbean. Yeah, we have it. So yeah, exactly that. We call a lot of things tea. But growing up in Antigua, that was tea for me, and so it started there and just began to just grow. And I started to read more about it. As I traveled, I realized that it was a huge culture, much far beyond what you see here in the U.S., which is a huge coffee culture.
Yes.
And so traveling, you realize that hey, there are people like us in the Caribbean who take to tea and who drink tea, and it's a huge part of your lifestyle
and
daily.
Have tea time.
And have tea time, So yeah, my paternal family is in Manchester, England, and so my maternal family always jokes, you must get it from your father's side, wanting to have tea all this time, because I don't know who else drinks tea as much as you do, but when you learn about the benefits of tea, health benefits of tea, and what it the impact it can have on your life.
Right.
You know, you really start
Why
to take
wouldn't
it
you want it?
seriously. Why wouldn't you want it?
Hi, I'm here with my guests, Jill Johnson, The Gift of Tea, and Erica Morrison, Tea Fields. Hi, ladies.
Hi, how are you? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's so nice that you could join me today in this beautiful drawing room.
Thanks
Isn't
for
it
asking
nice?
us. Absolutely.
We're here at Morris Shimon Mansion. This mansion has got so much history, and to think we are in the same drawing room that General George Washington would have had too. Isn't that something?
That is something. And if the walls could talk.
If the walls could talk.
And certainly they had tea.
Oh, absolutely. So I just wanted to invite you all to have tea with me today, and I really wanted to talk about not only your role in the tea industry. I really want to kind of focus on American tea culture. I'm pretty excited about what's happening in America as far as tea goes, and I think that we are really entering into a tea renaissance or a tea revolution or a movement. I don't know, however you want to put it. It's definitely something happening with tea. So I can't think of any other industry that I would want to be in right now. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. but
Absolutely.
Of course, that's why
It's
you're here.
exciting the amount of people now who are just more educated, know about tea and good quality tea.
And
So,
good quality tea, absolutely. We're going to get to that in a second. But first, I want our viewers to kind of get to know you a little bit better. Of the two of you, I met Joe first, and we'll tell the story about how we met, because I love the way she tells the story, because it's always just so exciting and animated. So, it'll be fun. However, you guys have been friends for about 20 years.
Yep.
About
yes, we
20
have.
years.
We
About
used to work
20 years.
together.
That's wonderful.
In the corporate world.
There you have it. And then something happened, and you decided that tea would be, what would carry you through the rest of your life. Because that's kind of how it happened with me. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do this tea thing, and this is it.
Well,
So-
she called me up one day. We were in the office. You know, when in the corporate world during the holidays, usually they require managers, a couple of managers, to be there to sort of like manage the place. So she called me and said, let's leave and let's go have tea at the plaza.
Yes. In New York City, right?
In New York City.
Yes.
And she called a couple other friends, and that's what we did. And that sort of started our afternoon tea excursions that we used to have frequently.
Absolutely.
We started, just the two of us, and then the following year we invited our daughters. And the year after that we invited our daughters and our sisters. And by the time we left the plaza,
Yes.
we had 18 people.
And then what did they say? What did they say in terms of your crowd? I think you told me a story about you came there one time with so many people, and
Well, one of the things about having it in some, joining people for tea at the plaza, unless you rent a room, which is quite expensive,
Right.
you don't get to really sit next to each other.
Got it.
Because they place you at whatever open table there is. And we, as a group, as we, started to grow, wanted something more cohesive, where we could actually interact with each other and network and, things of that nature. So, yes.
So that kind of changed. You kind of have to change the setting. And we'll get to that in terms of what happened after the whole plaza thing. I have to serve this tea. We have this.
Please.
I was waiting.
We have this amazing tea from Hawaii, actually. In Hawaii, yes, here in America, American-grown tea, which I think is the frontier of what. I don't know if frontier is the right way to describe it, but we're entering into this new tea era. And things are happening in other parts of the world that may actually affect, the supply. So it's interesting that just as that's happening, there is actually more tea starting to be cultivated on American soil. I just think that is just fascinating.
It is
Right?
fascinating. As a matter of fact, there are 13 functioning tea farms currently here in the United States.
Really?
Yeah, but, the one mostly people knew was in Charleston.
Yeah,
And
Charleston Plantation.
Plantation,
Yes.
but there
It's the
Robert
are so
Fortune.
many more. I think you went to a seminar or something recently where they talked a little bit
Yes.
about the amount
Well,
of.
For the first time at the World Tea Expo, they actually had the meeting, the first meeting of the U.S. tea growers
Right.
organization that's just getting started up.
Do we
And-
cheers? Or do we
Yes.
tea it up? What do we do? Cheers.
So they just had their first meeting. So it is growing. There are, like I said, 13 active farms that are growing tea right now. And in addition, there are 2 that are starting up.
Yep.
So, you know, that's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
And
And it's
gonna-
wonderful.
It's wonderful. It's going to take some time,
Yes.
you know,
Of
for, I
course.
guess, the soil. I don't know what the correct scientific terms of it are. Erica, I know you've
Well,
done some
I took
studying in the
I
past.
took a course at the World Tea Expo
Yes.
where we actually had tea that was, you know, brought in from Hawaii. And we went through the process of making green tea and white tea and oolong and black tea. But one of the things is because the amount of humidity, the soil, the elevation.
Right, all that makes
All
a
of that
difference.
makes it very, you know, good climate for tea. So there are places in the United States where there's actually, you know, the
Some
climate
fairly
is
good
very.
tea.
Oh,
but
there's
it's
wonderful
actually
tea.
going to, as the years go on, I'm assuming that it's just going to get better.
Oh,
That's how it
absolutely.
works. It's kind of like similar to wine. And, you know, once there was no Napa Valley, right? And now there is. Like you can get some of the finest wines from California and Napa Valley. And so I think that tea is going to definitely have a similar sort of renaissance. I don't think it's going to take 40 years
No.
like wine, because we live in a different world now. Everything happens so quick. I think, I don't know, maybe in the next, when do you think that we'll get to the point where people will be able to go into restaurants? This is a conversation I've had with our elder statesman of American tea culture, Mr. James Norwood Pratt. When do you think we'll be able to get to the point where we can go into a restaurant and ask for a particular tea, a high-end, premium, or rare tea? How long do you think it'll take for us to get to that point? Like
American
American
tea.
wine. Not necessarily American,
Okay.
but just tea period, because we're still a little green here
Well,
when it comes to
in
tea.
California,
I
there are
was gonna say,
certain
there are places
areas
now
in California that actually do that now. When they come out with their wine list, they also have a tea list, and they will have teas from all over the world, and they feature them
Yes,
on their
but I'm
menu.
saying, when do you think the American public, those that would drink tea, those are probably some of the same people that would drink fine wine, but they're just not aware of all the tea that's available. When do you think we're going to get to the point where that tea drinker will be able to go into a fine venue and ask for tea by country, by region, by province? How long do you think it'll take us to get there?
That's a question that I don't think I have an
Big
answer
yes for
for.
me.
And, you know,
About 5 to 10 years. I think
No.
10 years is a good one.
I'm not even gonna
Not even gonna touch
venture
that one?
to guess. What I do know, it is happening.
Right.
And as more people become educated in tea, and I know that's what you do, that's
Yes.
what Erica does, that's what I do.
Right,
As we continue that education,
yeah.
and there's a lot of young people that are just as passionate as you about tea as we are.
Right.
And they're doing a lot of research and a lot of study, and when they do go to places, they will be the ones to help change.
That's right, because they'll start
This culture.
asking for it.
Exactly.
I said, well, we're not going to name any brands. They'll say, well, can I see your tea? We do it now. I know I do it. Do you have a tea? You have any tea? What tea do you have? And then they'll let you know what tea, and you will politely decline. Thank you.
I
You
think
know?
Beverage Magazine mentioned that in the hot tea industry, the volume is down, but the amount of quality is up.
Right.
So which means that people are buying higher quality teas.
Right.
So the value, you know, as far as dollars being spent, has increased.
In terms of the higher quality.
Absolutely,
teas.
absolutely. So someone may say, oh, well, people are drinking less. No, actually, people are drinking better, more higher quality tea. And I think that's a step towards what you're talking about.
Right, right, right.
And if you're buying a higher quality tea, and we can talk about the loose leaf and the tea bag
Right, right, right.
scenario, but if you're buying higher quality tea, it just lasts longer. You can get more infusions out of it.
Yeah.
So that's
The affordable luxury.
the affordable luxury.
Could you imagine there was such a time in the world where it was only reserved for the aristocrats? Can you imagine that?
Yes.
This affordable luxury.
And then it got so hot and heavy that they were smuggling tea because everybody, even the people who weren't, the rich and the affluent, they got a little taste of it. They liked it too, and they wanted their tea. Unfortunately, they had the tea. A lot of the tea that they got was like, wasn't very clean, and it came with a lot of extra stuff in it. But it was still something that people really gravitated toward during that time, of all classes. But I just find it interesting how tea is an affordable luxury. You can get so much out of it, but not very many people are aware. Not very many people, like even being here in New York City, of course there's certain places that are known for having afternoon tea every day for many a year. But they're still just focused on a certain segment of the population, and then you have so many other people that don't even know any type of tea culture exists, for one. They have no idea of the different varieties of tea that you can have. And so when you introduce them, I know this happens to me a lot, when you introduce them to really good quality tea, they can't even go back to drinking regular tea.
Well, I think that tea is just more readily available now, so people
Right.
are drinking it more.
Yeah.
You've got a whole generation of people who may think, well, when I don't feel well, I drink tea.
Got it.
But now you have people who drink tea all during the day, and then you have the millennial generation that just want a healthier beverage,
Yeah, and
they
they
are
want to tea.
gravitating more to tea. You have many more brick and mortars
Got it.
that are doing tea. You have people now that have coffee now doing tea, so
It's growing.
it's really growing.